Okay. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? Good morning, online. Good morning. Okay, so hope everyone are doing good. What did we discuss in our last class? Kubernetes. Did we install Minikube and then ran the commands? Done, na? So let us quickly go ahead and launch EC2 instance. So this one would be AL2 or Ubuntu? Ubuntu. Minikube. Then we go with what? Ubuntu. Online, did you try Minikube? I'll go with T2 small. Online, can you hear me? Yeah. So did you guys completed the Minikube? So here it is, Ubuntu. Okay. So what we did, how to install Ubuntu? Let's quickly go ahead and then do it again. So yesterday there was some issue, right? So first, what we need to do, we need to set the host name, command. Host name, CTL, set hyphen, host name, I call it as Minikube. So sudo hyphen I. Okay. So we have in the GitHub, where you have already forked the repository, where I have all the DevOps scripts. Inside this, we have something called minikube.sh. So open there and then copy this script. So yesterday we discussed about what this script is doing. So simply what you do, so vi minikube.sh, go ahead and then paste it and then run it, sh minikube. So after running this command, what happens is automatically two things will get installed. What are the two things? One is Minikube, another one is kubectl. Say that again. What are the two things will get installed? Minikube and then kubectl. So do you remember yesterday's commands? What's the command to see the status of Minikube? Minikube status. And what is the command to see the nodes? kubectl node ls. And what is the command to list to get the pods? kubectl get pods. And what is the command to create the pod? kubectl run pod name hyphen image and then image name. So once that is created, once the pod is created, and kubectl get pods to list the pods. And if you want to list the IP address, more information about the pods, then kubectl get pods -o wide. Very good. -o wide. And what is the command to describe the pod? kubectl describe pod and then pod name. Pod name. What is that? Pod name. So what is the command to see the logs? kubectl, logs, and then pod name. Nice. So these are all the things that we have learned in our last class. So before that is coming up, I told you there are two ways to create the pods. The one which we have done yesterday, that was imperative. That was what? Imperative. And the what is the another one that we have? Declarative. What is that? Declarative. So which one is better? Declarative approach is better. So in our last class, what we did, we have run the commands and we have logged into the, we have created the pod, we have list the pod, we check the logs of the pod, we deleted the pod, we describe the pod, right? And then we have logged into the pod, everything we have done. But as I said clearly here, this above approach we don't do because we need to create the pods manually. So every command, so if whenever you want to create a pod, so you need to run the command manually. Instead of that, what is the next approach we need to go for? Declarative. In declarative, what do we create? Manifest files. Say that. Online, put it in the chat. Manifest files. Very, very important. See here. Before that will take time. In the manifest file, as I told you before, in Ansible, how we have playbooks. In Jenkins, how we have Jenkins pipeline, right? In Docker, how we have a Docker file. So here in Kubernetes, we have manifest file. What is that? Manifest file. So manifest files contains few mandatory parameters. So these are the 4 parameters that we always use in every manifest file. So say with me, you need to get habituated with these parameters. Like how we got habituated with the Docker file components and all from run, CMD, entry point, all these things. Similarly here also. Say with me, API version. Say with me again, API version. So here it is damn case sensitive. Manifest files are very case sensitive, right? And then API and V should be capital letter. What's that? V should be capital letter. So API version, and next one is what? Say that. Kind. Say that. Kind. Next one, metadata. Next one, specs. Spec meaning specifications. Say with me again, what are the 4 things? We have so many things, but the main important things are these. What are those? API version, kind, metadata, spec. Now, API version. So before I talk about API version, kind. What is it here? Kind. Kind meaning the object that you want to create. Kind meaning here, the object that you want to create. So simple. If you want to create a pod, you need to put the pod. Kind is colon pod. If you want to create a service, kind colon service. If you want to create a namespace, kind colon namespace. What object? In Kubernetes, I told you everything we call it as what? Object. So if you want to create an object, so you need to put that object name here in the kind section. And also for every object, there is a code library. What is that? Example. If you are using Python, and does the Python knows AWS by default? No. So what is the library that we are using here? Boto3. Remember in Lambda we did, right? Boto3 is a library that, because Boto3 has the entire information about the Python related AWS. So it's a code library or not? So here also we have the kind objects like pod, service, namespaces, jobs. There are multiple things are there. For every kind, there is a code library related to that. And that code library, we need to put it in the API version. API version here, see, API version specifies the API version used for the deployment object. So most of the stable version, code library is apps/v1. Say that. Or else you have a v1 also. What is that? Code library is v1. So apps/v1 is a stable API version for managing all the deployments. Now, depending upon the Kubernetes object we want to create, there is a corresponding code library. So if you want to create a pod, what is the code library? What's the API version you're using? v1. Say that. For general, for pod, for service, v1. Namespace, v1. For secrets, V1. For replica sets, app/V1. So like this, for deployment, don't worry, what is replica set, what is deployment, we'll be learning. So I'm just putting here for replica sets, what's the API version? App/V1. For deployment, what's the API version? App/V1. For jobs, batch/V1. So which one is common for all? V1. Right? So can you tell me what is the API version for pod? V1. What is the API version for namespace? V1. What is the API version for secrets? What is the API version for deployment? App/V1. What is the API version for job? Like this. So when you want to start to write the manifest file, you need to start with API version. So what exactly that you are creating with that manifest file, that corresponding code library, you need to put it into the API version. Got it? Online, you're getting now? So that is API. So if you want to know more details about the API version, if you just put kubectl API-versions, you will get listed a lot. So before that, this still is getting created. Okay. So next is what done here? Kind. What's that? Kind. What I told you about the kind. Kind meaning it's a Kubernetes object that which we want to create. What object that you want to create, you need to put it under where? Kind. And that kind is related to which code library, you have to put it in the API version. And what is this next one here? Metadata. What is metadata generally? Data about data. Instance metadata meaning data about instance. Here metadata meaning data about the kind that you are putting it. Let's say you are putting the pod here. You are putting the pod. What is the pod name? What does it contain? Entire information about the metadata meaning information about the particular. See, additional information about the Kubernetes object. Like you can give the name of that object. Let's say what's the kind that you are creating, for example, pod. And what is the kind that you are creating? Deployment, for example. And what's the kind that you can create? Service. What is here? Ingress. What is the kind here? Job. So I told you, Nana, here, kind meaning here, you can, what object that you want to create. What are the objects that we create generally in Kubernetes? We create what? Pods. We create what? Deployment. We create what? Replica sets. We create what? Service. We create what? Ingress related. We create jobs. So for each and every object, there is a corresponding API code library or not. And now you are putting the kind as a pod. And you need to give the name of the pod or not. Generally, when you create a container, we'll give the name of the container. Similarly, when you create a pod, you need to give the name of the pod and you need to label it. So entire additional information about that object, we put it into the metadata. Understand? Metadata. And then what we have here in a spec. What is the last one here? Spec. Spec meaning here specification. Let's say, what does the pod contain? Container. So we need to mention the image name of the container, or otherwise how does the pod will get created? What does the pod contain? Container. So if you want to create a container, you need to mention the image name or not. So what is that image name? Any kind of variables that you are putting, any kind of ports that you are mapping, how many number of ports that you want, how many number of pods you need to create, how many number of containers you need to create, right? Is it, so labeling every entire information, how the pod should get created should be inside the spec. Spec meaning here, specification. What's that? Specification. I'm repeating. So what are the parameters that we know here? Number one, API version, kind, metadata, spec. So API version is a code library or not? API version is a code library. Can you tell me? So there are multiple code libraries are available. So which is a very common code library that we use? V1 and then app/V1. So for a pod, what is the code library? What is the API version? V1. For deployments, so for service, V1. Secrets, V1. So like this, for every different kind, you have as different code libraries. Next, coming to the kind. So kind meaning the object that we want to create. So what are the objects that you know in the Kubernetes? Pods, replica sets, deployments, services, namespace, all these things will come under what here? Kind. And Example, what kind you are creating, what object you are creating, pod. Example, you take what? Pod. We need to give the pod name and information about the pod or not. So that will come under metadata. That will come under metadata. Specification meaning, what does that pod contain inside? What image? How many pods you want to create? How many replica? Remember, replicas meaning what? Number of pods. In Docker also, in Docker Swarm, we created replicas or not? In that replicas meaning number of containers. Here replicas meaning number of pods. If I create a replicas has 5, that means how many pods will get created? 5. So how many pods? What does the container contain? What does the image contain? Our entire information will be inside which parameter? Specification. Which parameter here? Specification. Clear? Online, is this clear? Okay. So let us go and create our own first manifest file. Let's go ahead. Okay. So do you see the Minikube is installed? So do you know, can you run few commands here? Minikube, what? Status. So Minikube status, as I told you, Minikube is a single host Kubernetes cluster. Yes or no? So as you have only one, so that means here you have what? Control plane. Control plane means what here? Master. So this server itself is master. And you have the agent also running here, kubelet. That meaning this machine also will work as what? Worker node. Don't call slave in Kubernetes. Slaves concept in Jenkins. But here, worker nodes. So API servers or API server, Kube API server is also running here itself. And then what's the command to see how many nodes are there? Only one, right? What's the command to see the node? Minikube node ls. Sorry, kubectl, right? Yeah, kubectl node ls. What's that? Get nodes, right? Yeah. Huh. Okay, hold on. Okay, kubectl get nodes. Good. So here, so we have what? Minikube, and then the name is Minikube. The status is ready, and the roles. What is this? This is the master server, and how many minutes the age of it, and the version of it. And can you tell me what is the command to list the pods? Get the pods. kubectl get pods. See, Nana, when do we use Minikube? When do we use kubectl? You should not get confused. Minikube commands that you use in order for the cluster purpose. If you want to list the clusters, if you want to get any information about the cluster whole, so you can use for Minikube. And then kubectl, if you want to manage that cluster, then go for kubectl all the time. So when I say kubectl get pods, do we have any pods here? Do we have any pods? No. So, and remember what is the namespace? Remember namespace we have learned? It's an isolated environment, right? So we have a default namespace. What's that? Default namespace. But do we have any default namespace? Do we have any pods in the default namespace? No, we haven't created any pods. So what's the command to create a pod? kubectl run pod name -- image and then image name. To list the pod, kubectl get pods. If you want to delete the pod, kubectl delete pod and then pod name. So those are imperative. What are those? Imperative. But is it good to use the imperative? No. For that reason, let's go for what? Declarative. So declarative meaning here, which one we need to use? Manifest files. What we need to use here? Manifest file. So let's go and create our first manifest file. It will take a lot of time to write cheat sheet. So VI, so I call it as, let's go and create a pod. Let's go and create a pod. So I call it as pod1.yml, pod1.yml. Go inside it. And what's the first parameter that I need to put here? API version. What's that? API version colon space. Remember, we should be capital letter. If you change, it's very case sensitive and to use properly like this. Okay, what's the code library API version to create the pods? V1. Okay, next. So we need to use what here? Kind. What is the kind that we are creating? What's the object we are creating? Pod. So what we have here next? Metadata. Metadata meaning here name. What's the name of the pod? I call it as pod1. I call it as what here? Pod1. And what's the next thing that we have here? Spec. Next here is spec. Okay, spec. Spec meaning what does it contain? Containers. So for container, I need to give the image name. What's the image I'm giving? And what is the name of the container? I call it as container 1. Observe that once. So we'll use the same method. So please try to observe. Yes, you can create multiple containers also, but which one is the ideal way to create? How many containers that you can create in one pod? Only one. 1:1 is always better. So, but if required, I'll show you that when time comes, how to create multiple containers. You just need to put multiple, another one more container here. That's it. Is that clear? Okay, now. Ready? Tell me. API. Next. 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 Metadata. Inside the metadata, what I have? Name. Name of the pod. I call it as what? Pod1. So what is the kind I'm using? Pod. So this metadata is related to this kind. Okay. Next, what I need to use? Spec. Okay. Inside the spec, containers. Okay. Next, image. What's the image? Nginx. And name, container 1. Clear? Save it. Okay. So now we know how to create a pod using command. kubectl run. So, but we should not use that command anymore. So we need to execute this manifest file or not. For that, there is a command. Say with me, kubectl create. Say that, kubectl create -f file. And then which one? pod1.yml. What's the command to execute? You can use create also. You can use apply also. So we'll go with what? kubectl create -f and then pod1.yml. Okay, tell me. kubectl create -f what? File. So what it says? pod/pod1 created. Same output when you use imperative command also or not. So that means here pod is running. What's the command to list the pod? kubectl get pods. Pod is running. Pod is running. Understood? So I showed you the imperative way and then what? Declarative way. So now this declarative approach is very good method which will be used in the real time also. So you create the file like this and you can reuse this file multiple times just in case. If you delete the pod also, and can you recreate it again? Just run that kubectl create -f and then file name. Got it? Can you tell me how to describe the pod? kubectl describe pod pod 1. So entire information about this to discuss. Okay, delete the pod. kubectl delete pod 1 got deleted. kubectl get pods. Do we have anything here? Understood your first manifest file? So that's a skeleton that you should follow. So what are those? API, version, kind, metadata, spec information. You understood these comments? Online's clear? CC? Okay. So let's go a little bit deeper now. So what I did, I wrote a sample manifest file to you. Okay. So API version v1 kind is pod. So I'm just putting what it is doing. It is creating a pod. And what is this? This is the name of the pod. And spec meaning here, what here? Specifications. And you mentioned. So this is the pod and we have run the commands. So drawback here is when you use a kind pod, the drawback here is once the pod is deleted, we can't retrieve the pod. Just now I deleted it. Am I having the pod here? Is that good? So I showed you how to create a pod through the manifest file, right? So to make you habituate what is API version, what is kind, metadata and all. So guys here, if any pod is deleted, it is deleted. There is no high availability for it. To get the high availability, we need to use something called replica set. What we need to use one here? Replica set. Now you understand why we are going to the next level. So previous one, so when we create only the pod, you don't have a high availability. So for Kubernetes, if you want to have a high availability, so what is the component that you should use here? Replica set. In shortcut, call it as RS. What's that here? RS. So this one is Chumma. You can cube color meaning it will give in colors. You can do this in your practice. So I'm not going to do this. This is just for Chumma purpose. I'm putting it here. So download this and then change it. Put it in your local bin. If it is cube color, get po, and then you get colors things. Okay. And create one thing and just for fun. So the next topic here, what is on here? Replica set. Say that me. Replica set. So replica set. This is used for managing multiple replicas of the pod to perform activities like load balancer and what? Auto scaling. Obviously, yes, what? For high availability purpose, we use what? Replica set. So replicas meaning it will create replicas of same pod. We have done the same thing in Docker Swarm, no? Yes or no? In the Docker Swarm also we created the replicas and the same replica, same content it created in multiple nodes or not. But here we are having how many nodes? Only one nodes. But here also we have replicas. So just in case if one pod is deleted, automatically it will create what? Another pod. And what is this called? Self-healing mechanism. So depend on the requirement, we can scale the pods. But the thing is here, we no need to create the pods. You create the replica set will create the pod. You no need to mention the pod. You create a replica set itself will create the pods. Okay. Next here is what here? See this? Labels. So next I'm going to teach you one manifest file which we'll be using all the time till end of the course. Right? So listen carefully. Labels. Labels you know very well. What is the purpose of the label? For identification purpose only, no? Like a tag. Label is like what? Tag. So see here, as we are creating multiple pods with same application, yes or no? When you go for replica set, if you put the replica set as, for example, 5, how many pods will be get created? How many pods will get created? 5 pods. In all that 5 pods, you will have the same application or different application? Same application, right? So as we are creating multiple pods with same application, all these pods have different names. Are different or not? Is it possible to have same pod names? 5 pod names are different, but applications are same. But how do you group them all? Because you have the same application. You have 50 pods. In that, 10 parts are running on one application, 20 parts are running another application. How do you group them, Nana? Using labels. Using what here? Label. So we can give the label to what purpose? To group them. So labels concept here is what purpose? Grouping purpose. What purpose? Grouping. So what is the application that we are using? Our HDFC application or not? So here, can I give the label as bank? That is a bank application or not? So I might be having application of Flipkart also. Then I'll give the label as Flipkart. It is for what purpose? Grouping. So if you created the multiple parts and all the parts will have the same label name. So can you list all the parts with the same label name or not? If you have 100 parts running, I can run a command to list the parts which is having my label called bank. So I'll get only the bank listed. So the purpose of the label is that. Is this clear? Label? Online? So this is used for assigning the labels now. Next is what? Selector. Say that. So it is used to select parts with the same label. Here we are assigning the labels, and here what we are? Selector, meaning selecting the parts with the same label. For replica set, what is the API version we are using? app/v1. Very good. What is that? app/v1. For replica set, what we are using? app/v1. So how to find the resources? API resources. Do you see kubectl? Say with me. kubectl API hyphen what? Resources. Okay. What do you see? So these are all the resource API versions that you have. These are the names, and for that it has what? API version. So most of the API versions is what here? V1. And then what we have here? app/v1. And then what we are here? Here? /v1. For auto-scaling purpose, auto-scaling/v2. So I have just put only few things, but here, most of the time here we have V1, or we go with what? app/v1. So this is the command. What is the command? To list all the API resources. kubectl API hyphen resources. Okay. Now I'm gonna tell you one. This is the replica set that we are creating, the manifest file. Listen carefully. This is the same thing that I'll be using till end of the course, end of the Kubernetes. Okay. Please concentrate carefully. Let's start. We will be starting with what? API version. And what is the API version for it? app/. What's the kind you are creating? What's the kind you are creating? Replica set. R capital letter, S capital letter. What is the kind you are creating? Replica. Are you creating any pod here? Why you are not creating pod? Replica set will create the pod. I told you, you create only the replica set. A replica set itself will create the pods. Okay. Metadata. Remember data about the. Okay. Data about the data, but here it is data about this kind. So I'm creating a replica set. No. So let's use our internet banking. Let's use our internet banking. So can you tell me what is the replica set? I'm giving IB-RS. IB- meaning what? Internet banking hyphen replica set. I'm giving the name of my replica set. What application I'm creating here? What service I'm creating here? Internet banking. Like this, can I put MB also here? Like this, I can put insurance loans also. Yes, you can create multiple things. So I'm creating replica set for only which service? Internet banking. And the labels, label, I'm attaching what? App is what? Bank. Just now we discussed about the labels here. Labels meaning for what purpose, Nana? Grouping purpose. Instead of saying identification, call it as grouping purpose. Say it as group. Label here meaning grouping. So because in this replica sets itself is nothing but multiple pods. Replica sets are nothing but what, Nana, here? Multiple pods. So here, if you want to group all the pods, you need to label as app as some name or not. So app colon what here? Bank. Got it? Next, what is here? Specifications? Yes or no? API version, kind, metadata. Next what? Specification. Okay, specification meaning what is the kind I'm creating here? Replica set. So we need to give information about the replica set or not. So how many replicas you are creating? 3, for example. How many here? 3. 3 meaning how many pods it will create? 3 pods. Replicas meaning here what? Pods. Replicas meaning here what? Pods. Okay. Next, what we have done here? Selector. Selector is for what purpose? Selecting group based on the group. Selecting based on the labels. So here I'm using a parameter called match labels. What are we matching the label here? Getting it? Getting it? Next, what I'm using here? Template. What I'm using here? Template. So inside this, ensure the pod get labeled. So this one, template meaning what? In AWS also we learned launch templates, no? Template meaning which has a configuration delay. So here you have given the replicas, guys, you have given the replicas as 3, but did you give any information about the replicas? No, right? So this template, this part will help you to create these replicas. Listen carefully. This template, this part will help you to create what? Replicas. So replicas 3, whenever you put replicas 3, it uses this template. What does the template contain again? Metadata. Inside that what we have? Labels and specification. What it contains? What does the replica? Replicas meaning what, Nana, here? Pods. What does the pod contain? Containers. So containers. What's the name of the container? This. And what's the image I'm using? What's the image I'm using? In my Docker Hub, I have the IB-image latest or not? Understood? So what this will create is, okay, this is the free, this is the one. See here. This is clearer. That part is clear. Everyone online, please. The selected part is clear. We have so many people, not only Rashmita. Online. Okay, nice. I'm repeating again. Because how much you get this? Because we'll be using the same thing next every time. I no need to repeat it. Okay. So what we are creating? This manifest file is all about creating what? Yes. By seeing the manifest file, you can just find out what's the kind it is using. What's the kind here? Replica set. That meaning replica set meaning it is for high availability. Just in case if one pod is deleted, automatically one more pod. So because how many replicas we are giving? 3. So it will make sure 3 are running. But just in case if anyone is deleted, automatically pod will create it. So API version app/v1 is the code library for replica set. So what is the name of the replica set? I'm giving in the metadata. What's the name of the replica set? IB-RS. And then for this replica set, you are giving the label as bank. Okay, na? Can I create one more manifest file, call it as MB-RS, and then that also related to the bank? Yes or no? Okay. Next, specifications. Specification meaning you are creating a replica set. So this is a specification. How many replicas you are creating? 3. And then inside that selector. So all these replicas, see, what is a match here? I'm using in selector match labels as what? App bank. That meaning these replicas, whichever it is creating, replicas are nothing but here pods. So in our cluster, do we have only 3 pods? I may be having hundreds of pods. Whoever created pods, if they have mentioned the label as app as bank, that will come under this replica sets. So match label and then template. So that meaning it is creating a replicas, right? See, everything is under specification or not? No. Everything is under specification. Do you see? Specification is starting from here. So everything is under this only specification. That meaning this specification is all the things is related to the replica set. And you have mentioned the specification that replicas 3 and then match labels app bank. And then these replicas will need to be created based on this template. So what does the template contain? Metadata, labels. So this replica 3 pods it is getting created. It will make the label as app bank and it contains the container with this image. So when it uses this template, created 3 replicas and it will give the match labels as app bank and that will go inside this replica set. Clear now? I want everyone to say clear or not. Everyone? Offline? Online, please. Okay, Nana. Remember, you are creating 3 pods with the match with the label called app as bank. So whenever there is a pod with the label called app bank, that will come and sit under which replica set? IBRS. If someone has created also, if they have labeled as app bank, that will also come under IBRS. Got it? Huh? Should we write this manifest file now carefully? Okay, let's go ahead. And then indentations, and then cap. So it is very careful. So the most common errors that you get is based on spelling mistake and the spaces. So let's go. So I call it as what? Replica set dot YML. Go ahead now. You know, right? API like this. API version colon like this. Space. Do you see the color got changed here? So space is mandatory. App slash P1. Next, kind. What is the kind? Replica. Yes, capital letter. After kind, very good. Metadata. Inside that, what is the name of the replica set? Name IB-R. I can give any name or not? I can give any name. So inside that, I need to label it. So what's the labels? What's that? Labels. What's the name? App colon what? Bank. You can give any name. Yeah. Do you see the name? Okay, next. Spec. Spec is also the main main parameter, right? So come. Okay, under spec. Specifications. How many replicas? Your wish or not? I'm just going for 3. Next step. Selector. Say that. Selector. Inside the selector, we need to match the labels. So match L capital letter labels. So you're matching the label what? App is bank. Got it? Okay, next. So it is under the specification or not? So what's the next main subparameter for it? Template. Very good. What's that here? Template. So inside the template, again we need to give the name of the template or not? So metadata, right? Here you can write name and then call it as IB template. It's not mandatory to give the name, or else go ahead, no problem. And then what I'm giving here? Labels. What's that? Labels. What's the label I'm using? App as bank. And next, under the table, under the template, another main parameter is what? Spec. Very good. Under what here? Spec. And then what does spec contain? Containers. So containers. And then what here? Name of it. What's the name? Call it as container 1. And then image. So you can use your own image. I'm using my trainer as IB-image. Colon test. Understood this? How to write? Online. Understood? No? So do you all understood why I need to give the space under this? So because these are the main parameters. What are the main parameters here? API version, kind, metadata, spec. They all should be in the same line. So inside the metadata, you are writing as subparameters or not? Inside that, what you have? Name. And another subparameter, label. You need to give the label name, right? So you need to give the label details. So label details will come under labels. And then what? Spec. Inside another main parameter is what? Replica. Another main parameter, selector. Inside the selector, how you are selecting? You are using match labels. What is the name? App bank. Next, inside the spec, another main parameter is template. Replicas, selector, templates are the main parameters. Inside the template, you are using metadata. So what is the labels you are using? App. And what's the spec? Containers, and inside it, images. Okay, no? So, sir, for Docker, will it not ask password to get image? So we are using what here? In Docker Hub, I am using public repository, not private, right? If it is private repository, then login is must. Kiran. Okay. So now I have created the manifest file. How to create, how to run it, how to create it. kubectl. Very good. Create -f replica set YAML. Got created? What it got created? Tell me. What's this object here? Replica set dot apps. What's the name? IB-RS got created. So how to get the replica sets? I'm not asking for how to get the pods. How replica sets, can I create multiple replica sets or not? I created how many replica sets? Replica set 1. Pods, replicas are 3. So if you want to list the pods, kubectl get, how many are there? All are related to IB-RS. Can you get the more information about the pods? kubectl get pods -o void. And how to list the replica sets? kubectl get replica set. Say that. kubectl get replicas. Or else in shortcut, there is a very big name for RS. Ria Sheikh. Okay. Okay. So get what? RS. Not Ria Sheikh. Okay. Get RS. What is that here? So I have been habituated with RS. No need to write replica set. So what's the command to list to get the replica sets? kubectl get RS. Get more information about RS. Again, kubectl get RS -o white. CTL. Okay. So if you get the information, what is the name of the replica set? IB-RS. So decide how many you have. 3. Current all running. 3. Ready how many? 3. What's the container's name here? 1. And then what's the image it using? What's the selector? App is equal to bank. Online, you got it? No? If you want to describe the replica sets, then kubectl describe RS, which describe RS, which RS? What is the name of the replica set? IB-RS. So if you want to get more information about, do you see the events here? So how many pods got created here? 3 pods. Because in this replica set, replicas are mentioned as how many? 3. And all 3 are running. And it uses app is equal to bank labels. And it uses the image. So if you want to know more about it, okay, how to list the pods, you know, kubectl get pods. But if you want to list the pods with the labels, hyphen show labels. What's that? So now these are all the pod. What is this? Is this a pod ID or not? It's a pod ID and it has what? Labels. So what's the command? Because in cluster, I might be having hundreds of pods running with the labels. You understand label is how much important? If you want to list the pod which is related to a particular group, so without label, can you list it? For that reason, label is very, very, very important in real time. So what's the command here to list the pods which is containing the labels? kubectl get pods hyphen show hyphen labels. It is showing the labels here. Okay. Okay, fine. So now, how many pods are running here? 3 pods. How many pods are running in 3 pods? There is a command which you can watch the pods creating live. Generally, pods are creating in the backend, right? So how many pods are creating, how many pods are terminating, deleting, everything, you can see it. So you can open a new window here, see? Duplicate tab. So, clear. So, sudo hyphen I. So, okay. There is a command, say with me, kubectl get pods hyphen watch. Say that. kubectl get pods hyphen watch. How many pods are there? How many pods are there? 3 pods are running or not? Okay. Now, if I go here, I do kubectl get pods. I have 3 pods running. This kind is replica set. If I go and delete the pod, what will happen? Yes or no? So what's the command to delete the pod? kubectl delete pods. Which one? I'm selecting one pod. If I hit enter, in another tab, what I have here, I'm watching the pods, right? Hit enter. And do you see this here? There is difference. You can see the live. So why it is taking here this much time? Because Kubernetes, first it will create the pod and then delete the pod later. So that's the reason why, do you see? Don't worry about that error because it got created already. Right? Do you see this here? It got deleted. So if I do kubectl get pods, I have again three things. So remember, Kubernetes, first it will create a new pod and then delete the existing one. Just in case, remember, just imagine you have deleted the pod. First it got deleted, but due to some reason, it could not able to create the pod. Then you have run only 2 replicas will be there. Problem or not? So for that reason, first it will create a pod and then it will delete it. So if you want to see the if you want to watch live of creating what is happening in the backend, what is the command here? kubectl get pods hyphen watch. Got it? Online, you're getting it now. Online. So if I delete the pods, all pods, again 3 will get created or not? Okay, can you tell me a command to get the pods which contain only the label app is equal to bank? kubectl get pods hyphen show hyphen labels. Show hyphen labels will show all the labels. But if you want to list only app is equal to bank, there is a command. Say that here. kubectl get pods hyphen l hyphen meaning list app is equal to what? Bank. It will list only those 3. Got it now? So if I do this, kubectl delete pods hyphen l app is equal to bank, what will happen? What will happen? It delete what? So first it will delete all the pods here, which is having the label app is equal to bank, and then again, as it is a replica set, it will create again 3 pods immediately. Understood? It's called what mechanism? Self-healing mechanism. What's that? Self-healing. Good now. If it is create same pod, then why we delete? I'm showing you to just, if it deleted, it is creating like this. Generally, do we delete it? No. Aniket, it will not delete. We should not delete it. But just in case if someone accidentally delete it, so I'm showing it has a mechanism, it has a capacity to self-heal. Okay? Nice. Okay. So now let us scale out and scale in the replicas. Let us scale out and scale in. Remember in Docker Swarm also we did scale out and scale in. That is auto scaling or manual scaling. Can we create more than 3 pods with the same label? Mallikarjun asking. What is your answer? Yes. Where do you modify? In the manifest file, replicas, instead of putting 3, put it as 30. Yes or no? Okay. I'm asking in Docker Swarm also what we did. We did the we did the scale out and scaling. That is manual scaling. Yes or no? That was manual scaling. Here also I'm showing you what? Manual scaling. How to scale our replicas? There are multiple ways to do it. One way is go and increase in the manifest file, put replicas how many ever you want. But you need to manually modify that, right? Every time. Otherwise, you have a command here. So, if you want, what we do? We watch it. And then there is a command. Say with me, kubectl. Say that. First, what is the command to list the replica sets? Get rs. What is the name of the replica set? IB-rs. So kubectl scale. What do you want to scale? Replica set. Which replica set? Slash IB-rs hyphen replicas. How many replicas, for example? 10. See that command? So this scale out or scale in? Scale out. So what's the command again? Tell me. kubectl scale rs IB-rs. Which one? Replicas. How many? Enter. So what it says? IB-rs scale. That do you see this here? All are creating or not? What of it is creating? See, it shows pending, and then it is first it is container creating, and then pending, and then what it is running now. So if I go here and if I do kubectl get pods, and we have 10 running. You have scale out or not? And if you want to scale in, yes. So let's go kubectl scale replica set. Which one? IB-rs replicas is equal to 5, for example. If I do 5, what will happen? Again, see here, first it will create a new one and then it will terminate. But this scale out and scaling, what we are doing is manual or not? This is manual, but Kubernetes will do the scale out and scaling automatically, which is called auto scaling. In the coming part, we will learn in coming days. So we use a concept called metric server. Say that. Using the metric server, that metric server will help us to automatically scale out and scaling based on the CPU percentage that we give. Okay, that I'll show you later. But from the replica set, you understood now how to scale out and scaling? Online, no? Okay. Now see. Now if I do kubectl get pods. So I have how many? 5 running. Because I have scale in for only 5. So I'll tell you the problem with replica set. What is the application it is using? Internet banking. What is the application it using? Now, this is a service where internet banking is running. So what is the image it is using? Internet banking image or not? So from where did you get the internet banking image? In the manifest file, we have mentioned trainer ria/ib-rs or not? Okay, now I have a requirement to change that image. I want to not change the image. I want to roll out a new application. In this replica set, I want to roll out new one. So what do you do? Modify the manifest file. Huh? If you modify the manifest file, then what will happen? Think technically. You modified. If you just modify, will there be any update here? You are modifying the file just in. And then what do you do? Delete and create. Huh? No, you should not delete it. Oh, tell me here. So I'm running a command. All these pods are using which image at the moment? IB-image or not? So let's find out first of all. kubectl, what is that? Describe pod -l. Which one? App is equal to bank. In this group, I am grepping -i id, for example. If you use this, what's the image it is using here? All. How many parts are there? 5 parts. And all are using which image? So do you understand the command? kubectl describe pod, list this one, and grep what? If you don't list also how many parts, we have all the 5 parts, all are in the same labels only, right? So all are using what image here? IB-image. So now what you said is, sir, modify the replica set, this YAML file. Okay, na? What you said is this. Change it to MB. Okay. Then what will happen now? Huh? Replica? No. I want the same replica set. So I modified it, but if I list it, do I see the same image? Is there any modification? You're getting it? So, hey, online, can you hear me, Nana? Someone said the breaking. I change it to here. So, can you hear me? It's good, huh? Okay. So there is a command here, kubectl edit. Say that. Say that here, kubectl edit. Which one? Replica set. Which replica set? IB-RS. If you edit it, change it here. Do you see this? This is the way how you edit the replica set. Change it to what? MB. I edited it now. So that meaning and kubectl get pods. How many are running? Okay, na. So if I list, is there any change? Tell me, is there any change? Online. There is no change. So now, not only MB image, in internet banking itself, my developer has developed a new code and they created a new image. Internet banking hyphen new image. Can you edit it? Can you roll out the application here? This is the problem with replica set. This is the problem with what? Replica set. Using the replica set, can we roll out the applications? No. For that reason, we will be using the another object called deployment. What's that? Deployment. So you understand the problem with the replica set? So now you tell me, in the real time, can we use replica set? Then why did you taught it, sir? Because you need to know the problem of why we are going to the deployment. So instead of kind replica set, so now kind should be what? Deployment. Now what is the deployment? When you use the deployment, you can just edit it, the replica set, and then it will delete the old one and then create a new with the new images. Understand? So problem online, is it clear? So this is one problem. So you're still here. So does it change here? Did it change even though I modified? Everything is IB only. Did it modify to MB? No. So that is one thing that you cannot do it. So maybe you can change, sir. You can change like this, no? Okay, I change it to here what? MB. And then run this file, sir. How to run this file again? kubectl create -f. This one, oh, you see error. Because replica set is already exist. You can create only one time. Or else you no need to create. If you want to modify and then do it, here we say it as what? Apply. If you do apply also, do you see? It has configured something, and if we change it here, still it is using what? IB only. If we apply also. So this is the problem with what? Replica set. So instead of that, what we do? We use what? Deployment. So the drawback here is, so we cannot roll in and roll out the applications. So we need to use which object now? Deployment object. Clear? Online, clear till here, please. So how to delete the replica set? Will you delete the pods manually? It is just like in AWS auto scaling, you are terminating the EC2 instances. So if you want to delete the pods, you need to delete what? Replica sets. What's the command? kubectl delete. What do you want to delete? RS. Which one? IB-RS. Deleted. So if you do kubectl get pods, what are those? Terminating. Clear? I directly jumped to replica set. Are we using replica set in the production? Previously, replica set, when Kubernetes launched, we have something called replication controller. What's that? That is the daddy of replica set. So do we need to talk about that? No need at all. Replication controller also the same concept, but there it doesn't have something called this. Okay. So what is that here? So the kind which we are using here, replication controller. So the only thing here is in replication controller, so we don't have these labels, selector, not labels. See, same as replica set. but it doesn't contain what? Selector option. Same concept. Instead of kind here, I put here replication controller. So do you have any selector here? There is no selector. But here in the previous one, what we have here? We have the selector. This is the selector. So replicas we have. But here directly you are for the template. There is no selector option. So that's why no one is using what? Replication controller. If they use, they go with the replica set. And for production, you cannot scale out you cannot roll out and roll in. So I just clearly gave what is the difference between replication controller and then replication set. So tomorrow, what we do? We go and do the deployment. Same thing what we do, instead of just here putting replica set, here we put what? Deployment. And everything is same to same. And what we do tomorrow, we write this manifest file again, and then we'll mention as deployment. Name also IB-deployment. We'll run the same concept, and then we'll try to roll in and then roll out, scale out and scale in, and see how it works. Clear now? I'll stop it here. We'll able to do it? Else we have 3 minutes now. Any questions meanwhile? Ari, you can. Is this clear, guys? Still here? Any questions? So will you able to do it till here? Okay, so if you don't have any questions, so what I do is I'll upload this to the Google Classroom. So please complete those. Okay. Okay. So what is today? Okay. So only few people know. Online people, I don't think so they know about it. So let me tell. Okay. So online, so today is my birthday. So wish me happy birthday. Thank you. So yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good. Thank you all for your lovely wishes. So you always feel very much better. Generally, I don't celebrate kids like you, right? So any singer, please sing a song. Send us the cake, sir. Looks like offline people set up a cake already here. Surprise. Good. Okay, so thank you for the wishes, guys. Share pics in Google Classroom. Okay, they will make probably. Okay, all right. So let's our offline people will enjoy. So online people, thank you very much for your lovely wishes. As I said, I always like to be with you. Every birthday, I celebrate with only students, right? So generally, on the birthdays, trainers will not come, right? So I'm coming in the morning also, evening. I want to be with you all the time. So it is not this first year, it has been continuous in so many years, right? And thank you for the wishes, guys. And tomorrow, let's connect with some other powerful deployment topic. Until then, take care, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.